All right, welcome to another day of exploring Ventura County. Today we're going to be on the Topo Canyon Trail, or the Topo Canyon Loop. We're actually going to be taking this loop into Chivo Canyon. It's kind of the back way in. I haven't gotten a clear answer as to if the other way in is crossing over private property. So we're going to go the safe route and come in through a public trailhead into Chivo Canyon and kind of explore around and see what we can find. This is the trailhead here on Topo Canyon Road. If you need to get directions here, it'll be in the show notes below with a link also to a map. And if you like this channel or like this episode, be sure to click subscribe or give me a thumbs up and leave a comment. So we're going to start our hike or ride today up the trail here, and we're going to ride up to a fork in the trail, and when we hit that fork, we're going to take a left. So we've come about 1.4 miles up from the trailhead, and now we are at the fork in the trail here, and you can go right or left. This does lead out into a loop, so you can really actually go either way. You can climb up that way into a gradual descent, or you can descend down this way. Both will lead into the same trail we're trying to get to. Today we're going to go left, and we're going to come around onto that loop. Alright, so after climbing for a little bit, that's the fork we just came from. You're coming up this section of trail here. You're going to hit another trail intersection. And one of them, right here, curves around to the left. You get up there, that little sign there says private property. That is not where we're going. You want to kind of hug to the right. And we're going to continue down this way. And down that trail in that direction. After descending for about 3/4 of a mile, you'll hit another trail junction. And this one you can kind of curve around here and go to the right. And that will take you back up the other side of the loop trail that brings you back to the trailhead. Or you can continue straight. That's the way we're going to go. That brings you over into the next canyon where we're going to go kind of explore and check out some abandoned equipment down there. A little further down the canyon now, we hit another intersection, and you can go right, and there's some cool equipment that way. And then you can also go left up this way. And I've heard rumors that there's a well back there for water, and also some oil wells back there. So we're gonna go back that way and check it out. One of the first things you're gonna hit though is this. I've always really thought these were pretty neat. These no trespassing signs, private property boundary signs. They don't want you to go back there because if you look at this sign real close, we'll try to zoom in on it. That area back there is a honeybee sanctuary. And that's where, if you ever wind up having bees removed from your property, they can set them up out here. And there's a couple of these sites throughout Simi Valley back in the hills where they have hives set up for bees that have been removed from people's homes and put out here. So we've kind of followed this pipe up the canyon a bit, and it kind of keeps proceeding. But what's kind of interesting is when you get down to the bottom, it's a dry creek bed. When you get up here, there's water, and it is flowing. Very slowly, but it is flowing. And as I got up a little further, you could hear a little louder of a trickle. So there's definitely a well or something bubbling out of the ground back there. I'm not going to go further up today. We'll save that for another video. But even in these drought conditions, we've been in 2 years of drought and nothing is naturally running. There still seems to be fresh water seeping out of the ground back here. All throughout the hills back here, you kind of run into these remnants of Simi's past. This, I believe, is a water basin for cattle. There was a lot of cattle back up in this area. You can see a little fill hole there, and even over on the backside here, there's looks like, my guess is some gunshots went through it at some point. Looks like some critter met its demise back here. All right, we were back down here at that intersection again, and now we're going to head down the canyon towards Simi Valley and see what we can find down there. Down there, there's a couple oil seeps and some abandoned equipment we're going to go check out. Under 100 yards on the trail, we hit our very first of the oil seeps. And you can see this is just oil that's just seeping right out of the ground here. And they've come back and dammed it up with some jute matting just to keep it off the trail. But here's the first of a couple, and as soon as you make that turn, if the wind's coming up the canyon, you can start smelling this stuff as soon as you come around that first corner. Here's our first bit of abandoned rusty equipment. Looks like the rear end of a car or a truck. This section here looks like it's actually probably an abandoned well of some sort, because there's still some pipe rusting out and laying here. And this is maybe another 100 to 200 yards down the canyon from that last seep. You can see up there, there's the last one we were just at. And here's another much larger seep. Coming down the trail a little bit further, we come across this across the way. It's on the other side of the wash, so if there was water running through here, it'd be hard to get to it. But right now it looks good. Here's some more equipment. This is stuff across the wash. And then we come across over here, and there's some large cement foundations here. Not sure what these were originally for. The shape of this one, I would guess some sort of a tower. Possibly because of the oil back here, a well, but I'm just speculating. Here, unfortunately, I can't get a further back shot. I'm kind of squishing with all the brush, but it looks like an old horse trailer that's been abandoned back here. Under a minute hike down the trail from those big pieces of foundation is some of the larger equipment we came back here to look at. And there's a whole bunch of stuff back here, and I'm not an expert on these things, so I'm not really exactly sure what this operation was, whether this was mining because there was mining back in the area, or if this was farming and livestock because there was also that going on back here. Going a little further up past that equipment, look what we found. We found an old car. Let's try to figure out what this thing is. This looks like an old inline 6 Ford engine here. So if you're looking for a restoration project, here you go. We found one for you. If anybody's working on an old Ford, I found a hood for you. And to go with your old Ford, here's the seat frame. Look at that. Chrome's still good. So here we are at the base of Las Chivas Canyon, and we've checked out all the kind of cool rusty stuff down here. If you like this channel, give me a big thumbs up or subscribe. We're going to head back up the canyon and finish off our ride. Come join us next time.